So if I'm a new business owner just starting out, I know social media is important. What are some things that I can do to grow my social media following?
I tell every entrepreneur starting a new business account on Instagram to do these three essential things. Number one is use your stories daily if you can, right? And the first reason you do that is you stay visible
Right.
because stories pop up at the top of Instagram. So when somebody sees you
And stories for those who just have no
yeah,
idea, they're just starting out. What are stories?
stories are highlights of your day that only last 24 hours, right? But you can also share things to your story. So let's say I am a barbershop. We'll use a barbershop for the example today. So if I'm a barbershop and I'm running a sale, it's very good to, hey, I have a post. You might make a post about it, but a story you can share. They last 24 hours and it's at the top of the feed. So the first time you get on Instagram at the very, very top, you have all these little circles
Mm-hmm.
and it's people that have posted stories. You can share sales. You can create inside of Instagram, inside the stories, you can create text on there. You could put a photo in there. You could do a bunch of different things, or you can record yourself in a video saying, hey guys, we're doing a sale right now. Excuse me. Hey guys, we're doing a sale right now. And in this sale, you'll get $5 off your haircut, right? And that'll last 24 hours. Okay. And so even if let's say you're a solo person, you're not even in a studio, but it doesn't matter what you don't have to be in a studio. You can be anywhere. You can be doing nails, whatever. You say, hey, I have open slots today, right? Like, hey, I have 3 openings today. If you want to come get your haircut, come in and I give you your haircut. Stuff like that.
Short-term stuff.
Yeah. Like
stuff that you're okay going away in 24 hours.
Yeah, totally. So
and it doesn't show up anywhere on your social media after that.
Not on the profile. Right. Now, on the profile, if you go over to your side at the very bottom right, it shows your profile. Now, when you click on that, and you click on your logo at the top, it'll have like almost a rainbow around it. It'll have colors around it for Instagram. When you select that, it'll show whatever stories you've posted for the day. But for people that follow you, it'll show up to the top of their explore feed or their homepage. Their homepage will have people they follow plus suggested accounts from Instagram plus sponsored posts. Mm-hmm. And you'll be at the top. Using that daily will keep people engaged. Right. And you'll be surprised. There's a lot of people that will view your content, maybe not like it, but they'll watch your stories. And stories are very important. Stories kind of came from Instagram. I mean, not Instagram. Sorry, Snapchat. Snapchat was kind of this thing where it was huge. It's still pretty big for younger audiences where you can send a video, a photo, anything like that. And once you view it, it disappears. Mm-hmm. Right. So if I wanted to send you a photo, I could do that and it would disappear. That's kind of where Instagram took it from.
Gotcha.
And now those stories are important because it keeps you visible. It keeps you at the top of the queue, keeps you at the top so people can see you. And staying visible is important, right?
And it's only for people who are actually following you that really see
yes,
that,
right, exactly. Or if somebody views your profile, they can hit your stories by hitting your profile icon and then it'll show the stories for the day.
Right.
So number one, it keeps you visible. So stories keep your brand at the top of the followers feed and give you a daily chance to be seen without needing to do a new post every time, right? Highlight number 2 for stories would be that it helps you boost engagement. Because since you can do it every day, it can be small, it can be 15 seconds, it can be 3 seconds, it can be really short, or it could be sharing. Let's say I have a sale go along all week.
Right.
I can share that post multiple times to my stories. So if somebody doesn't see it the first day, maybe they'll see it the second day, which is really cool. So you can get more engagement this way. Use interactive features as well, like polls, quizzes, stickers, slides, Q&As. You can ask people questions so they can ask you. You can do, and when they ask you a question, you can kind of do an FAQ section for a whole day. Let's say you don't have a lot of time, or like, let's say you have an opening as a barber. You have an opening, and I can show, okay, I'm sitting here. I don't have anybody in my chair yet. Maybe I'll throw out a poll or throw out questions. People can ask questions. I can answer questions on the spot. At least it gives you engagement. At least it gets you moving. At least it gets you content out there so people can see you.
Okay.
Another way for a barber, let's say, since we're staying on that subject, you can show before and afters, right? Like I can take a quick photo of before the hair, like messy hair, take it again once it's all clean and done up, right?
Yeah.
So the last one would be it shows the real you. Because it's daily, it feels a lot more natural. So it kind of gives the person behind the scenes. It gives a person like, oh, this is who I really am. It's not pretty or like it's not curated.
Yeah, it sounds like it's really unpolished content.
Yes,
That's
which makes
real.
you feel like a real person.
Yeah.
So whether you're a big business and you're showing behind the scenes of, hey, we got a big order that just came in, so we're about to like ship these out, or we just finished putting all these products together and they can be sent out, so make sure you get them, like order them on our website, things like that you can use.
Yeah.
The next thing I would tell people to use is use post reels and carousels. Those are really
what's the difference between all those?
So a reel is a video. So you're going to be doing a edited video, which Instagram has the editing tools for you. So if you're brand new, you don't know what you're doing, you're not a person that uses cameras, you're just using your phone, it's perfectly fine, right? Now, reels are in a vertical landscape, so you make sure that you use it in portrait or vertical, which is 9:16 is the ratio. 16:9 is the opposite.
You're just holding the phone basically like you normally
upright,
would. You're
not
rotating
sideways.
it. Yeah.
Exactly. That's how reels are posted, so make sure you film in that. You can edit it on the app, and you can make it pretty professional looking. You can add music, you can add cuts, you can add transitions, and you can still use these interactive tools like polls and stuff in your caption, right? So highlight number one for Reels would be you can reach new audiences. Reels are really being pushed in the algorithm to people that don't follow you. So that's the suggested thing that I just talked about on the home tab. When you have a home tab, Instagram's going to suggest other content to you. And if the more you post Reels, it'll be suggested to other people. So that's a good way to get your eyes in front of other people and get more followers and hopefully more traffic to your website if you're doing online sales, or for leads if you're a barber, stuff like that.
Okay. Good way to get a new audience. Exactly. Get new people following.
Now, for Reels, it is very important that you hook people fast. So the first 2 seconds, you should jump cut. You should have something like wait till the end, which if you're a barber and you're doing a video, it's actually good.
Very appropriate.
Show a circle around like a messy hair. Then you can cut to the end. You can even film yourself. Like if you have a little tripod, which are very cheap, with a little phone holder, you could set that up and cut hair, do a couple shots of you cutting the hair, and then use a little transition that they have and show the end result.
So I actually follow a stylist in Brazil.
Yeah.
And she's got millions of followers. She's awesome. And she does like full on makeovers, not just haircuts, but just like full on makeovers. And she has them sitting in a barber chair, and she does it before and after, but she does it with the cape. So like she grabs the cape and then goes, and then it cuts to the new one. Yeah, it cuts to the post makeover shot.
And I think the barber stuff or the makeover stuff's great because
awesome.
It's a big reveal.
Yeah.
And that's what people like to see, right? In any video, you're looking to see what the end thing is.
Right.
That's what really
a lot of times it's
you.
pretty dramatic too.
Yeah,
like
right.
the before and after. Right. Like what she does like is very artistic. Yeah. And I think that's what draws people to it.
Yeah.
You know, and
it
so
totally
I think totally if you're in the barber space, you should most certainly do that. It's one of the easiest pieces of content to film.
And you can do
like you said, like tripod.
In any space as well, right? Yeah. Like you can use hooks like that on whatever it is, whether you're revealing a new product that you're releasing online,
right,
or you're showing off the function of the product that you have or the problem that it solves. All of those issues, like all those things you can highlight with Reels, right? And use what Instagram has. Now that being said, you can use it on Instagram and Facebook because they're one. So you can actually edit within the business meta suite. Not as good. And we can talk about that in another episode. But the Instagram app itself on your phone, if you are new, you're just trying to create content, use your phone. There are great cameras now. Almost every phone has a great camera that shoots in 4K, and you can adjust the settings so it's high quality. And you can use Instagram to edit those things. Now, the last highlight would be the carousels, which I mentioned at the beginning. Carousels are really getting pushed to people to share things and also to share knowledgeable educational stuff. So carousels have kind of shifted to where they're actually getting pushed a lot. Now, when it comes to single photos, you can post single photos. The thing about carousels is you get a second shot. So what I mean by that is Instagram will show your first photo to some people, but let's say it didn't really engage with that person, that for some reason that first photo didn't, and you're scrolling, Instagram will actually refeed it to your followers or new people, and it will use the second photo or the third photo.
Interesting.
And it'll be like a new post. So you get a second shot at trying to get engagement. So it's important to have one or two or three photos so that people can have more chance to engage with you, but also it gives them more information, right? You can still use music, which is engaging because it feels like something's happening. But then you can also put little things, like little tips would be like put arrows so people know it's a carousel, right? So like if I'm doing, hey, huge sale for the barbershop, huge sale this Friday with dots or like arrows. Then you scroll over and then it says what the sale is. And then you scroll over and the next one's like you working on someone's hair, right? Like you can have different aspects to the carousel, which will help engage with people.
Well, and I've seen a lot of carousels use kind of a seamless background.
Yeah.
To where when you're scrolling, it feels like you're just moving along in like what's a really big visual.
And there's a lot of apps now that will help you do that. So they'll set up the template for you.
Will Canva do that?
Yeah, so you can do that some in Canva, and they have pre-done templates for it. And then there's some other specific apps that's all they do, and they're free. So you can just do a little research and just look up.
Do you remember off the top of your head like one of them?
I can't. I use them a lot, and I can't remember the name of them.
We'll have to put links to them.
Yeah, and but it makes it, like you said, seamless. So you could have one solid background. Like let's say if I was doing an outdoor or a outdoor company, and in the background I want like a topographical look. You can have that topographical look go all the way across. So as you swipe, it looks like that topographical map just moves to the next one instead of like a hard line where it's a brand new one, which is really cool. And like you said, it just makes it seamless.
Yeah, it's a nice experience.
Yep. So the last thing I would do is use your analytics. People don't do this enough. The first thing is identify your top performers, right? So let's say you posted for a month.
Before we get into that though, when you say use your analytics, where would somebody find that?
So as a business account, which is what I would suggest doing it as, or if you're a single barber, you can actually be a creator, and that would be okay too. That actually opens up some stuff. So you have either two settings. You can be a business account or a creator account. The creator account gives you access to actually use all music. So trending music, you can use Post Malone, you can use Jelly Roll, you can use all these different top trending artists, right? And you can use all their music and it's not going to flag you for it.
That's awesome.
If you're a business account, it limits what your music can be, and it's all license free music. So you can't use any of that. They still have music. It's not as good, not as trendy, but you can still use music. The benefits of having a business account is you can have an Instagram shop. You can also have, you also get different highlights or different analytics. The creator account, you still have analytics, which is great. So it depends on what you want to do. If I'm
can you change if you start with a creator, you can change to a business.
You can totally flip flop. So
it might be more beneficial to start out as a creator.
Yeah.
And then once you get a big following,
you can switch to a business. Yeah. You could totally do that. And you can swap between a creator, between a business, back to a personal. You can do they don't limit you. Okay. So you can switch back and forth, but it will change what you're able to look at. So
gotcha.
Look at your top performers in your analytics. Now, each post will have an analytics tab, and in there you can hit that and look through all your analytics. You can also go through your profile, and there's an actual tab. Like once you go to your profile in the top right, you hit it and it drops down, and you can hit analytics, and it will drop your top performing analytics for the entire profile. So it'll show your top performing posts, and you can select different date ranges. So let's say we're looking at the last month. I posted 15 times this last month, right? Or which would be pretty decent for someone just starting out. Posted 15 times, and I see that 2 posts really popped off. One was a reel, one was a carousel, or 2 were reels or whatever. You look at why and analyze why they popped off. Is it certain type of music? Is it you asked a question? Is it had a really good? Yeah, did it have a good hook? Like that kind of stuff. And try to replicate that in the next month. That's important. A lot of people just post and don't look at anything. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, no, look at what's performing and try to adjust your content to that because you want the best performing stuff. So look at what's working and what's not working.
I guess thumbnail would probably only apply to like YouTube and stuff.
No, they do have, it's not called a thumbnail. It's called, off the top of my head, it's basically like a profile grab or picture, but it's a thumbnail. It is a thumbnail. And so
you can create a custom one.
You can upload one, or you can create it it'll let you scan the video and you can just select an image from the video. So you could do either or, right?
Yeah.
So if I was a barber, I would probably end it on, actually, it might be helpful to have the beginning shot where it's all like, let's say you have somebody with like crazy hair, might be beneficial to do that.
Yeah.
Or you do it at the end when it's really good because you want people to see a profile of like nice done hair, right?
Right.
That also makes sense.
Yeah.
So it just depends on but you can try those things out, and you can also go back and edit a photo and change the thumbnail later.
Oh, okay.
So you can always change it after the fact.
So you can, once you figure out what works, you can go back and update your old ones if you wanted.
Exactly. So know when to post is the next one. So analytics will tell you when your audience is mostly on Instagram. So let's say you've been posting at 9 a.m. and then you find out, oh, most of the people that view my stuff's at like 5 p.m. Well, then start posting closer to 4 or 5 and play around with it and see if it helps boost engagement. Okay. I work with a client that is in the blue collar space, and we post a lot of our stuff after 5 because people are off of work. Because when you're a blue collar job, you're don't busy. Have your phone. You're working on a construction site. So it's like, well, it's more beneficial to actually post 5 p.m. Eastern time because now all East Coast, and then it's still close to when people are getting off the rest of the country, right? So for the US, that's what we focus on. The last one is, I kind of already talked about, is refine your strategy. Go through, look at who you're targeting, look at who it's connecting with. Let's say, like you said, you follow a person from Brazil for haircuts, right? Well, you're like, for her, she's like, well, I kind of like, it's good that everybody's seeing my stuff, but maybe I want more Brazilian people to see my stuff, right? So if I'm in the US and specific city, it's like, well, I want that. Target, you can add a tag to where your location is, and it will start to refine where that is. And people, Instagram will start to see like, okay, they're tagging, they're in, Anaheim, California. It's like, okay, well, let's share it to more people in Anaheim, especially people that like hair stuff or like makeover videos, but they're in Anaheim.
Which you would only want to do for like a physical located business, like whether it's
like a service
or brick and mortar.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
So continuously refine your strategy. If certain content types are performing, move towards that, right? So if reels are working really well, do more reels. It doesn't mean never do carousels because that's not true. And the algorithm changes, and sometimes like right now, carousels are getting boosted. So do some more carousels, and maybe carousels start to go up. And you just have before, after photos, right? And they can swipe it, and you can say before, and then with some arrows, and then they swipe over, and now it's the after, right? Like,
and maybe the last one's call to action, like
it's like
book your appointment today, or
exactly,
something.
Right? That's a good way to do it.
After you tag your location, right?
Right, and you use this information to guide what your content will be moving forward, and you continuously refine that.
So, how can somebody know what's like, when you say the algorithms change, like how does somebody keep up with something like that?
Well, I think that's what looking at analytics helps, right?
Okay.
Like, are reels performing? Oh, they are for months. And then it's like, oh, my reels aren't doing as good this month, but carousels seem to be boosted up. Okay, maybe I'll still do some reels here or there, but maybe I'll shift into doing more carousels for a while.
So it's going back to kind of what you were saying previously, in that do everything.
Yep.
But once you're noticing something taking off more as you're reviewing your analytics,
lean
then
into
do
it.
More of that, but still do all the other ones.
Exactly.
Gotcha. I think those are fantastic tips.
Yeah, and I think if you're starting out, sticking to these 3, you can really get started and get the ball rolling. These aren't all the things you should do, but these are some essentials. Use stories daily or as often as you can. Post carousels and reels, and lastly, use your analytics. Adjust your content to what works, and continuously refine. Thanks for listening. Every week we go over news, tips, tricks, and best practices to help you grow your small business. So follow and subscribe below.
For more information, check out our website at launchingpros.com, where you get access to a bunch of free resources and courses designed to launch and grow your business online. Check out the links below.